There. There we go. I'm sorry. I thought I fixed it. There we go. You guys and gals are like, what is going on? I was doing an I Love Lucy scene where she was like completely pantomime. There we go. Is it coming? Is it coming? Yeah. Okay. There we go. That was such a derpy thing. It was in the wrong settings, and I thought I fixed it. I think I didn't hit apply. So yeah, no, it was me. It was me. So let's start all over. Hey, what's up, guys and gals? Thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully you got to this point. If you're watching this again, it was silent for the first minute, and then we're good. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining me. As I said, I feel like it's deja vu. Nice and bright, sunny day, nice and blue. I'm going to tell you about something that happened to me today. Totally my fault. Totally my fault. I'm quite embarrassed. But you know, it's one of these things where, you know, we can all selectively tell people what we want, and I could just pretend like nothing happened today. And yeah, because I could. There are days where, you know, I don't share things, but here I guess I got to share it and maybe make it as a lesson to you guys, as a model for you guys. I don't know. My mistake, my mistake. Where do you like I Love Lucy? Ecuador. Oh my gosh. Awesome, Ecuador. Well, I'm in the US. So let me tell you what happened today. I got out of services today, early morning services, and I took a bit of a drive. I took another route, which I don't know why I did that. And it's Thanksgiving weekend, and that should have been my first red flag. I took another route, another red flag. I took a long stretch of highway, which is another red flag. Yeah, I got pulled over. I got pulled over, and I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because I'm hurt on the inside, but it's my fault. You get what you deserve. You reach what you show. You reap what you sow. Yes, church service. And so, yeah. So I don't know if that's a lesson, you guys. Keep it safe. It wasn't like a reckless thing. It was just like, it was a stretch of highway where a lot of people, and I'm justifying myself, for a lot of people were going the faster. In LA, everyone knows, everyone drives faster than the highway speed. And so by the time I noticed, I put on my emergency brake. Didn't help at all. There was a car in front of me, and I would say that car was going about the same speed, but I was caught. It is what it is, right? So yeah, shame on me. Yes. And so, yeah, but stuff happens, right? And so, yeah, I don't even want to talk about that anymore. Let's see. All's well and you are forgiven. Well, thank you. I need some forgiveness today. Lucy's house in Jamestown owned her kids. Oh, so, yeah, I think it is owned by her kids now. They bought it, right? They bought her house. Yeah, so I don't know. My car is conductive to go fast. It wants to go fast. And then it's like a team. And then I'm like, hey, car, let's go fast. And so, yeah, the officer was nice. I told him to stay safe. And he was good. But, yeah, it's my first time being pulled over. And I've driven since I was 16. So it's almost 15 years. And let me tell you that it's not like I just started driving. I drive like this. It's just stupid. Thanksgiving weekend, of course they're going to be out. They had a thing though. There was 2 officers stopping people constantly. Like when I was stopped, then another officer stopped someone else like 100 feet in front of me. So it was like an operation. They were singling people out, and I was in the crossfire, and the white car in front of me didn't get hit. I got hit. So 15 years, I guess. So yeah, so how'd you guys like the episode I posted couple days ago? Was yesterday? Yesterday. Okay, because I make them before, obviously, and then I put them on Saturday. Anyway, yeah, so Saturday. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. It was a little off with like uploading with Thanksgiving and food and stuff, and so it was a little bit crazy. But yeah, let's get our episode started here. We're gonna the episodes are always below, so check in the description. We're gonna start with Lucy Goes Into Town, I believe it's called. Hopefully I get the names right, because these names, remember, they're not official names, they're added on later. And so, see, Mrs. the Mertzes, that's way before. Lucy's Night in Town. Okay, that's the name of the episode. Yes, first time being pulled over. ever. I've gotten like 2 parking tickets ever. And so this is, yeah. And I thought I was never going to get pulled over, but you know. Oh, yeah. Yes, Bruce, people will get upset at you if you're not doing 80. Yes, you know how that is. IP man, when am I going to play Empires of the Undergrowth? Soon. I have to tell you to stay tuned. I was given an update by the developers, and I was asked not to post until the game comes out. It's going to come out December 1st, I believe. So watch out for videos. Set your notifications on because I'm going to be one of the first to be playing it. Yeah, so hopefully the video will be on 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, my time, if everything goes okay. It's going to be just like a first look at it, and if you guys want to see more, I'll show more. So just a little heads up on that. Rick from Cynthia, I do not know how to drive, only my brother drives. Oh, so for me, I'm okay with that. Oh, did you see my, yes, sorry, I did receive your email, and I was going to respond today, probably after this. I've had a busy yesterday and today with Thanksgiving and everything, so I will definitely get to you, Cynthia, and we will do the one-on-one chat soon. Any more interested in the one-on-one chat? Just go look down below. Lucy was in Japan. Yeah, that is an episode. It's in the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour, and it is definitely a pretty good episode. Bob Cummings. It's not one of my favorites, but yeah. So definitely. Hello, Kimberly. Awesome. A lot of new people. I love seeing new people. Yes, I need to focus on them workers because the workers are essential. They're the whole thing, and they threw a wrench in the system, like the game. Like it's totally different now, so it's pretty cool. I played it already, but I can't show any footage until then. There's an embargo. Oh, I would love Natalie to do an interview with Lucy Arnaz and Desi Jr. That would be awesome. Hello, Katie. So let's start. Lucy's Night in Town. That is a March 25th, 1957 upload. Air date. There we go. Episode 174. We're almost done. We're a handful of episodes from finishing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, 5 more episodes. Until we finish the half-an-hour ones. Filmed on a Thursday, as usual, February 21st, 1957. Rating shared 38.4. It's a little bit lower than Lucy's Night in Town. Again, we can speculate why that is. But maybe people didn't like Ragtime Band and didn't tune in. I don't know if they would announce like a little bit of the story beforehand. I would like to have known that so that people can like tune in like a commercial type thing, but I'm not sure. So Joseph Kearns is in this. He's also in the Kleptomaniac episode. He's playing the psychiatrist, I believe. Woman with the Purse, Gladys Hurlbutt. And she, I've seen her before. She's played minor roles in the show. Woman in Box, Doris Packer. Man in Box, John Eldridge. His name seems familiar. Waiter, Louis A. Nicoletti. Oh, lots of people. Lots of people. At least 10 more are listed on here. And the music is from The Most Happy Fella, Frank Lesser, I believe. Standing on the Corner, Don't Cry, and Big D. Now, this was actually, I believe, Desi was one of the financial backers of this musical, which opened in 1956. So just to let you guys know, I don't know if you guys. So that's why they plugged the name of it like it was an actual musical that was pretty popular at the time, apparently. So let me start the episode, and you guys can start it if you have it as well. If you don't, then well, don't worry about it. You can chat to me about anything you'd like, for the most part. Sarah, yeah, Amazon Prime has a lot of Lucille Ball stuff. We may do a giveaway in the near future, and then you can participate in those and maybe get something cool for free. And yes, I am a fluent Spanish speaker. Someone asked that before, and I didn't answer it. Again, if I don't answer something specifically, please don't get offended. I'm trying to like look at everything. Sometimes I'm looking over here, and I'm trying to look at all the comments. Sometimes one will escape me or so forth. So, yes. Bruce, last night I watched a real good PBS doc called Finding Lucy, right here on YouTube. Cool. Have you seen it? I think it's the first one where you go, I Love Lucy. It's the first one that pops up. I think I've seen it. Yeah, the kind of sad thing throws me off. Like, whenever I think Lucy, I think happiness and comedy, and all these sad documentaries on Lucy, like, I don't know. I don't know if it's to get more views or why they put that tone into it throughout the whole thing. Like, even at the end, of a documentary that I saw. It was like, it was highlighting how she went up on stage and was like, "Hi, my name is Lucy and I used to be on TV." And they were like, "Oh, you know, her light was dimming and everything." And I'm like, well, yeah, if you see it in a negative way, people loved her up until the end. It wasn't like people hated her. Yes, she wasn't on shows and stuff, but she knew she was a legend. Like, I don't know how she acknowledged that, but I mean, she was loved. And I don't know, I think Desi was loved as well. Like, they were both very well loved people, and they had fans and then people that go up to them. And so, you know, it's a little bit annoying, some of these documentaries, how they maybe try to take that negative tone on the whole thing. Yeah, they had negative things in their life, like all of us. Maybe a little more, a little less, and so forth. But it's like they focus on just that, you know? What happened to the Desi house in LA? Well, it's still there, Kimberly. Not the Ricardos, the Arnaz's house. It's still there. They did a little bit of remodeling so the home wouldn't look exactly the same, so that people wouldn't like mob over it. But it's still there. It's still in Beverly Hills. Oh, I love when Desi speaks Spanish on the show, especially because I can understand him. He doesn't say anything, I always tell people, groundbreaking. I'm sure those of you who speak Spanish would know. But it does add to the flavor. It's like frosting on a cake. It's a little bit better. He does say a few things, but again, there are things that you can infer just from looking at the scene. Like, he's like, bada, 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 to people who don't understand what it is. But you know, if he's doing all these motions, he's like, I want to wring your neck kind of thing. And yeah, that's what he's saying. So that was very purposeful, because remember, no one else pretty much on the show, cast and crew, spoke Spanish other than Desi. I mean, you can make some exceptions, but most didn't, even the writers. And so that was more of like a Desi thing in there. Yes, yes. Yes, Marcus, it was an actual musical. Remember how shows and things, they don't show like Coca-Cola and they block it out because it's like, they don't want to like give them airtime, you know. And the ones that do, it's like they get paid. And so anytime they name something like Blood Alley for John Wayne, that was part of the agreement for John Wayne. He didn't want to take any money, but they said, well, just plug my movie Blood Alley, and it did get plugged really well. So yeah, I do not watch Will and Grace. I've had a lot of people ask me about that show. A lot of people say there's like a lot of references to Lucy. I don't know if that's true. Yeah, they were financial producers of the musical. Pretty cool stuff. Does Lucy and Desi's kids ever go to Jamestown? Oh, absolutely. They go a lot, especially on the anniversary, I think, of Lucy's birth. They have like a big thing. And she shows up, I don't know if every year, but she shows up often. And so she's there. She is there for sure. Yeah, I agree, Lola. How can I tell you? Gossip sells, right? And so the gossip portion of it sells. I even remember commercials for the '03 documentary where, like, the whole commercial, it was like, what is this? Like, I was, as a little kid, because, I mean, I was a little kid. I was barely in high school. And so someone who loved Lucy and would see the show and think it's all pure and happy and stuff, they were showing a guy playing Desi, like, hurting Lucy, throwing her against the wall. And I was like, what is this? Like, is this a mockery? Like, I didn't understand. And then knowing to find out, like, you know, there was a little bit of abuse and everything, but it was like, that was a commercial. It wasn't like, you know, imitation of them on the stage. You know, it was just weird to me. And so, yeah, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth, because if that's what it shows, like, if they do a story on my life, they would never do it. But if they did, and they would do it on, like, my parking tickets, the times where I drop things all the time, and it's like, that's not me, like, as a person. Those are things that have happened to me, but I mean, that doesn't define me, you know. So I don't know, that's just me. My Thanksgiving was awesome. It was great. I didn't eat as much as I thought I would. It was one of those things where, like, you know, you're really gusto to eat something, and at the end you don't end up eating as, you know, as much as you think. I don't know, it was weird, but it was pleasant. It was pleasant, it was peaceful, it was with a family, very close family, so it was good. Hopefully your guys' Thanksgiving was great as well. Yes, celebrating the good, celebrating the good. And you love it. I know Cynthia, you speak Spanish, so that is an awesome thing that hear him speak Spanish, because it's like his Cuban roots, you know, his Cuban roots are back. Yep, Desi lived in Del Mar. I don't know exactly where. Well, you know exactly. A big canyon off of I-5 via Latina. I don't know if that's... I didn't know. So I know Del Mar, but I didn't know exactly where. Is Blood Alley a good movie? Have you actually seen it? So you have it, so I'm sure you've seen it. Is it pretty good? Oh, you know exactly what they're eating. Roast beef with mashed potatoes and gravy and lima beans. And Lucy is peeling the lima beans. Not yet. Fred's coming in all freaked out because he's carrying all this money with him, which would be around $5,000 today. And Lucy's like, Fred, are you really carrying $5,000 or it's $500, which is $5,000 roughly. Oh, okay. Via Latina. Oh, yes. And then Fred is pulling a little magic trick, pretending to put the money in there. Now, the guy who's serving them, the waiter, his name is Louis A. Nicoletti, and he is a really good best friend of Desi. And so, you know, Desi and Lucy were very big on, you know, the people that they loved and cared for, they would usually, like, help them out or have them be on the show or things like that. Why is my nose itchy? And so, yeah, they would do that. And Louis Nicoletti is in everything. Like, he is in the pizza episode, what is it? Not Neighbor from Italy. Visitor from Italy. Where in the pizza place, and he's like, pizza, what pizza, mushroom and sausage. He does like an Italian accent. He was Lucy's dance instructor in the episode Ricky's Life Story, I believe. He's like that. Those are just three, but he plays like a busboy, bellboy, telegram guy, so all this cool stuff. Oh, that's awesome. Your dad used to play the songs on your recording. Oh, that's awesome. Do you want me to get bumped off? That's a great line. Why was Mrs. Trimble or Mrs. Trumbull written off when they go to the city? Great question. It's just one of those things, guys and gals. Like, if you think about Mrs. McGillicuddy or Lucy's mom, the actress I'm talking about, Catherine Card, think about it. She wasn't in the later part of the series. She only appeared once in the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour, I believe, and that's the Japan episode, just because she was taking care of little Ricky. But other than that, as season 4, and then we get into season 5, pretty much when she leaves for New York, or when she leaves Hollywood, like, you know, the Ricardos and Mertzes come back to New York, Mrs. McGillicuddy goes back to her home. I believe we don't see her anymore. You guys can correct me on that, but yeah, that happens. Characters go in and out. They really have no storylines. They had no real reason, but there can also be like disputes. There can also be disputes because then she wasn't taking care of little Ricky anymore. Think about it. They moved out. They moved to Connecticut. They could have brought Mrs. Trumbull along, but I think it might have not worked for the story. Remember, season 6 was written by different people as well. And so that could have affected it. Maybe they just didn't want Mrs. Trumbull. They wanted to change things up a little bit. So, yeah. You're listening to Christmas music as you type. Awesome. Everyone is on with the Christmas music after Thanksgiving. Oh, there goes Lucy peeling the lima beans with her knife. Oh, geez. Taking the skin off. I do have that Amazon Prime. Hello, Ron. You love I Love Lucy. I Love Lucy too. Yes, that's I would say forget about seeing footage, at least on my channel. I'm sure other channels do it, and maybe they're okay with what happens to the consequences. I don't know. They're not. I'm worried about my channel, and so yes, footage will not be shown during the live streams. Sorry, the whole camera's shaking. There we go. No earthquakes, no California earthquakes. You love Desi Arnaz's Cumbanchero. Cumbanchero. I have seen Lucy Arnaz sing it. Yes, she's pretty good. Oh, my favorite Desi song? I love a lot of them. Cuban Pete is pretty awesome. And then, let me think. Then there's so many. Ese lunar que tiene. Cielito Lindo's good too. Babalu I don't like. Like, it's his signature one, but it's just like the same thing. He's playing the drums. I don't like it. I like it more when he's like singing. Cuban Cabbie. I love Cuban Cabbie. And I need dinero. Yeah, that's a good one. What is my favorite episode? Bonus Box would be number 2, and my number 1 would be home movies. As of now. Again, that might switch off. Maybe I might start liking another episode, you know, because your tastes change even in time. Does it say who plays the couple that comes in late to the theater? Yeah, it does. I can tell you who they are. If you really, really want to know. I don't know how I don't think they were too popular. Like, their faces don't scream to me that I've seen them somewhere, you know? Okay, Usherette, theater goers. So, Roy Lazarus is the man, and Susan Johnson... Whoa, it lists all of them. So, I'm going to guess it's... Wait, well, actually, let me see. What's every fella? Waiter. Okay, so then Usherette. Yeah, so it doesn't specifically tell you who the late ones are. It just lists a lot of theater goers. Roy Lazarus, Susan Johnson, John Henson, Alan J. Gilbert, Shorty Long, Art Lund, Paul Power. So I don't know if that helps, but it doesn't set apart those two individuals. So I don't know, maybe you could do a Google search and they might pop up. A lot of Lucy is on where? Is on Amazon? There's everything on Amazon. Amazon sells everything, from computers to groceries now. Whole Foods, right? So, Kimberly, great question. Did Lucy move her family to LA? So, she didn't move her family to LA. They were always in LA for the most part. Like, I believe she grew up in obviously she was born in Jamestown, grew up in Celeron, New York, you know, New York area. And then for her career, she came to Hollywood, LA. And she pretty much stayed here, you know, she would stay in like Palm Springs, you know, in this area, for the most part, this area, Southern California. So when she had her family, she was here, or I'd say here, LA. This is LA. You love Cuban Pete. It's good. It's a good song. You love the episode where Ricky is born. Lucy goes to the hospital. That one. Yes, yes, yes. You will only eat lima beans if it's mixed with green corn. So now they're at the theater, and they're just listening to the show, both girls, because remember, the girls decide to go in first, and the boys are outside. They only could get 2 tickets, and then you have the 4 theater goers in the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's kind of weird. Because I count 4 there, and then the 2 that came late. That would make 6, but there's 7 here. Oh, maybe an extra person. It's alright. Who's the guy who played King Cat Walsh? I think it was Walsh was his last name. I like him. I wish he was in more episodes. There was just something about him where he was just great. So that is season 3, I believe. So I'm in the wrong area here. Hello, I am Arthur King Cat Walsh. Okay, it seemed that was his name, not King Cat, but yep. So Arthur Walsh was his name, because it says supporting cast Arthur Walsh dash Arthur Walsh. Bill Parker was Dayton Loomis. Yeah, so his name is Arthur Walsh. So if you want to look him up, maybe he's in something else. But I think he was great. I don't know what you guys think. He was like, cats around here. Yeah, that's crazy, and he was a good dancer in my opinion. Standing on the corner. Yep. Cielito Lindo was great. A little bit in the romantic side of it, right? Yes, positivity is the elixir of life. You know, I'm with you, Natalie. There was more love. I would even say in the first couple seasons, 1, 2, 3. Then when they started to get to Hollywood, I think it was like their big thing of where they were doing a lot of studio work, and it was just a lot of hectic life. So it was like off screen they were just so busy, and then on screen they were working. And so maybe the writing shift according to that. I don't know. That would be a great question, but something to think about. Where Lucy hires a business manager. That's a good one. Oh yeah, so good question, Marcus. That's Charles Lane, and he appeared. He was one of the most, like, in terms of supporting cast, he appeared one of the most times, and he did a lot of stuff. He was also the passport guy. He was, when Lucy Tells the Truth, he was the audition guy. Oh, he's at least 10 times. He was in the Lucy Goes to Mexico episode. He was in there a lot. in there a lot. Yep, you are right. I think I mentioned that previously when my mic was silent. So yes. Oh yeah, George Whistler. He was the first Dennis the Menace, right? Any Lucy fans on here? I'm sure there are a few. I'm sure there's a few of them here and there. Yeah, she was infanticipating. Yep. Remember, they try to stay away from pregnant, expecting, you know, all those words. Even expecting, like the word expecting was used very, like, it was limited. It couldn't be used all the time. So they used it, but it was in limited use. So infanticipating, that curtailed one of the uses of expecting. So kind of cool. Ron, so what do you like Break the Lease so much? Let me know. I have not been to Jamestown, but it is on my, like, bucket list, as they say. Probably in due time, probably when I start flying a bit more, maybe I could fly myself there. Who knows? Yep, my mic is showing. It is certainly showing. I could remove it totally, but I don't want it to affect. You guys can still hear me though. I don't mind if it shows. It's just the black spongy thing, which I don't really need right now. The cover. There's a name for it. It's pop filter. There we go. I've never seen the original Dennis the Menace. I used to see the cartoons because when I grew up in the 90s, Dennis the Menace cartoon was amazing. It was so good. Desi Arnaz was a Latin lover. Well, it was... he was sure Latin, and he was Lucy's lover, so definitely that fits. Yeah, so great question, Ron. Gale Gordon starred 3 times. He was in the last couple episodes of the first season, so he played Ricky's boss, Mr. Littlefield. He was in Lucy's Schedule, and I believe the last episode where Ricky wants a raise, or he asks for a raise. And then he was also all the way in the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour. He was also in as the judge. He played the judge in the one with Danny Thomas, where they go to court. Yeah, but after that, you know, he was in a lot of the Lucy Show stuff. Oh, and there's Lucy dancing, giving the OJ or the drink to the guy who she thinks is Desi or Ricky, and she kind of sits next to him, and the woman's like, "Excuse me." The guy says, "Excuse me." She's like, "Sorry, wrong honey," and she takes the orange juice. Oh man. Yeah, I'm with you, Casey. He was great. He was amazing. He was his own guy, but he was definitely not Fred Mertz, in my opinion. You want me to say I love Lucy in Spanish? Hey, what's up, Alec? Nice to see you. Nice to see everyone on here. It's so cool to see everyone on here. Gil Gordon was amazing. Oh, well, there's Ricky and Fred. They're like, these girls are just nuts. Can I enjoy the show, please? There we go. Oh, there he is, Joseph Kearns, speaking to the woman, who I don't know exactly her name. The one who got hit in the head with the purse. And she thinks that they tried to steal her purse. But remember, they had the switching of the purses. And then Fred thinks, or Lucy thinks that Fred lost his money. So that was the 5th season, so I'm on the wrong thing here. Because I went back to give you guys some info. Where is... I'm just mumbling now. Building the Barbie. Okay, there we go. Where is the woman? Art Lund, most happy fellow. Where's... Oh, woman with the purse. Gladys Hurlbutt. Yeah. There we go. Amo Lucy. There we go. Yo amo Lucy. I love Lucy. Very good. So we are watching Lucy's Night in Town. That is the theater episode I'm sure you're aware of. The most happy fella. And I think my favorite line in the whole episode, where Fred says, well, one thing I know about this story, the guy wasn't married. And then Ricky says, how do you know? And he says, well, look at the title, The Most Happy Fella. Yes. Mr. Like Cats, yes, it was a real Broadway play. In fact, Desilu was one of the financial backers of the show, and so that's why they were able to name it and really plug it a lot and say it was a great show and so forth. And so yeah, that was a great line by Fred. See, that's the thing. Fred had all these wonderful lines, and I'll watch episodes again. I've watched them so many times, and I'll forget how funny Fred is. Like, I'll be like, oh yeah, he was in that florist scene. I had to show it. If you saw my last episode, I was looking at the 5 absent episodes. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out, because that is awesome. I don't know. I think it came out great. I didn't know how it was going to come out, and I was happy the way it came out. And I had to show that florist scene where Fred gets hit in the eye, and he sends Darling, I love you, I love you, I love you. And I signed it, eternally yours, Fred. Fred! It was great. Like, you're right, his delivery, his lines, it was just amazing. And I can't believe he didn't know everyone else's lines, too. He could still do such a fantastic job. Yep. Turns out the guy was married. And remember, Fred was married once, or Bill Frawley was married once way back when, but he was single most of his life. And so that's, I don't know, it's just funny. Like, Bill Frawley is Fred Mertz. How many records does he do? Do you mean like music records? Is that what you mean? Hey, Kara. You're late, but you're here. And that's most important. The fact that you're here no matter when. Yeah, isn't that cool, Alec? I've been really into the sets and watching them. The thing is, we're big watchers of the show. All of you that are big fans. So what happens is I can close my eyes and I know what's going on. I can visually see everything. So it gets to the point where I'll just look like to the back, or I'll look. I won't even look at the characters. I'll just look at what's going on in the background. I'll be like, "Oh, these scenes look familiar," blah blah blah, and then, like, I'll just notice these things. Because that one about, if you saw the Absent episode where that's the Ricardo's bedroom and that's like another apartment, that was on the spot. As I was doing it, I was like, oh wow, that's the bedroom. Same door. They took off one of the doorknobs to make it not look that obvious. The entrance, they just put an entrance on the left-hand side. But that was about it. That was the bedroom. So that's crazy. I mean, again, they had 4 positions, and we've talked about this. They had 4 positions for everything. They had bedroom, they had the living room, the kitchen, and the club. Big stuff was in the club side. The apartment was the main scene. They would usually never tear that down or never push that away. They would do most of the things in the bedroom for the smaller stuff, and the kitchen would also get probably the smallest or middle treatment. Yes. Yes. I have no idea. That's a great question. How many records, music records? You guys probably know. I do not, unfortunately. The Black Eye makes you laugh. It's a good episode. I agree with you, Paul. If they would have had the original choices of B. Benaderet and Gail Gordon, it would not have been as good. I'm with you. Like, 100%. I have no doubt in my mind. Reynaldo, hello. Nice to see you. Yes, Alec, question. In the episode Lucy Tells the Truth, what was the name of the lady that sings like the chicken? I feel it was mispronounced. Oh, yes, it was. I was watching that the other day. And I don't know offhand, but she was like... She was the chicken singer. I'm so sad that wasn't shown in syndication. They didn't show most of that. They only show it in the pretty much the DVD editions of it. Where is it? Season 3. I'm in the right season. Is that too early? Oh yeah, that's pretty early on. Okay, I was looking at the end. There we go. Lucy Tells the Truth. Woman at the audition. Dorothy. I already mispronounced her name. Dorothy Lloyd. Let me just make sure. Yeah, because Married Strong. Professor Falcone. He appeared a couple times. Women at audition. Dorothy Lloyd. It's really easy. Like Christopher Lloyd. Lloyd. So yeah. Oh, end of the episode. Your favorite Fred line is something he said on 2 different episodes. Ethel hit them keys so hard, I'm surprised it didn't hit her back. Yes, that is awesome. Let me put that went fast for me. Night in Town. Okay, let's look at the next episode. Where is it? Okay, yeah, Housewarming. I don't know why my eyes were playing tricks on me. There we go, Housewarming. There we go. And we'll start that out. I'll give you some of the info on it. Got a Mickey from Ricky. Yes, the chicken singing lady. Who was that, and where can I buy her latest release? Yes, Miss Lloyd. I think I mentioned her just a little bit ago. Dorothy Lloyd. Yeah, that's kind of tough, Cynthia, because I heard a lot of them weren't really saved. I think they were just like distributed amongst people. They didn't really keep track of it. A lot of the stuff, though, is in the Jamestown Museum. There was some stuff in Universal Studios Hollywood, which I frequented and I saw many times, but then they moved the whole exhibit, and I think most of that went to Jamestown. So I think that's where, like, most of the stuff is. I don't even want to give a percentage, but most of the stuff. You mentioned the scene, Lucy Tells the Truth, about Frank Nelson. That scene is a litmus test for comedy. Lucy Tells the Truth. I don't think Frank Nelson's in that. Is he? I don't think so. Okay, now I'm going to have to check, because I want to give you guys correct information. I could be wrong, but I don't think he's in that one. George Singleton. No, he's not in that one. He's in 7 or 8 others. Yes. Yeah, great question. It was pretty much in real time, Buzzy Helper. Each scene was in real time. And then, depending on what they needed to do. So this is a great question. So what happened is they would... Okay, so let's say they were in the living room, they were filming a scene. Let's say they transitioned to the bedroom, so that was a swift action. That was like live. They would just move it. But let's say now they had to go to, like, the chocolate factory, right, to do the chocolate factory. Well, that was actually in front of the kitchen. That was in front of the kitchen and the club area. So what they would do then, that was already set up because the club wasn't used in that episode. So then they would just go there. Now, sometimes they had to actually pull a set out and pull another one in. That would take 15 minutes max, 10 to 15 minutes. So yes, there would be a little bit of talking and entertainment to keep the people adjusted while that was going on. While they moved between scenes, it would take anywhere from 1 minute to about 5 minutes max. If they were just going from like here to here, right? Lighting and just switching, and that would. So it was, I heard a shoot would take about 45 minutes, roughly, give or take. That would be quick, apparently, because sometimes, you know, they have to go back and forth and they have to quiet people down, get ready to go. So it's not exactly 23 minutes, but that's not bad. Less than an hour, that's very good. Think about it. Hollywood controlling 400 audience members. They just here, just a little bit, they would have to do reshoots. They were very rare, but they were there, and so that might have had it taken a little longer if they had to do a scene again, if it didn't work or so forth. But yeah, great question. Okay, so I missed a lot of stuff. And I didn't go over this episode, so let me go over this episode. Housewarming. So this was a April 1st, 1957 release, episode 175, filmed on Thursday, February 28th, 1957. Rating share was 45. Big spike from 38. Big spike. That's really cool. Supporting cast: Little Ricky, Keith Thibodeau, Betty Ramsey, Mary Jane Croft. She appeared in a lot of episodes. No Frank Nelson here, just Bruce Ramsey, Ray Farrell, the little boy. That's about it for that one. Yeah, Paul, great catch there about Ethel and the piano. I did a whole blooper section on that, so don't forget to look at that video. Yes. Yes, you guys got that correct about the piano playing. Were the sets on rollers? Great question. They were easily movable, so they had people in the crew who could literally like fold them up. Like, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's, imagine like a kind of like this. This would be very crude, but this would be the basic concept of a Hollywood set. So it would be something like this. These are my notes from flying, so ignore. But you see how I can make this cover the whole screen? It could look like something. But then they could move it back, fold it up. They could literally fold this stuff up, take away the furniture in the middle, and it would fold kind of flat, and they could put it back. It's really cool. That's how Hollywood does their sets. And so yes, a lot of them were on wheels, and then they could put stoppers on the wheels or just brakes to have them for moving away. The whole house, though, like the Connecticut house, that's something else. They had money. That was a little different. I'm talking about like season 1, like the really, really like early stuff when they had to just go guerrilla warfare and just do like get things done. You could see like their coffee table was literally on bricks. Like they brought bricks because it was too low. and like they wanted to show in the camera scenes, but they were too high and so forth. So they just stuck bricks under there. They just didn't film the bricks, and boom, there's a feather that just flew by. Anyway, so yeah, for the most part, are you going to do the Christmas show? Absolutely, we should do that. I think that was great. What I'm amazed about Lucy is there's no real holiday episodes. Yes, Christmas. Let's take Christmas out of there, but there's no Thanksgiving, for the most part. Like, you can infer, like, maybe the Tallulah Bankhead episode. That's kind of not really, because, you know, the Mertzes aren't involved. But, I mean, you can infer episodes and be like, yeah, this is a Thanksgiving episode or not. But most, they didn't really have, like, no real Valentine's, no real Halloween. Like, you can do the one where they do the play where Lucy's the witch. You can say that's like a Halloween episode. But, you know, there wasn't really episodes like that. So, other than Christmas. You love the episode... oh, this episode, especially reference to Jamestown. Oh, yeah, because that's where you're close by to. You like that Little Red Riding Hood? I don't like that episode too much. Myself. Yes, we watched The Eggs last week, Alec. I don't know if you were here. Lucy's house in L.A. Great question. With Gary Morton? Is that who you're asking about? I know. The feather was definitely from a pillow fight scene that took place earlier before I started recording this. It just went... I don't know if you saw it. If you go and watch this back, you'll probably catch it. It's kind of funny. They never showed a fire in the fireplace in Connecticut House. Not in that one. There was one, though, in the apartment, the second apartment, the one with the window, with Lucy's novel, where they burn it, quote unquote, and they put it in there and there's a fire. So yeah, great question. Oh, my nose is so itchy. Allergies. In fall, I guess. Is there supposed to be allergies in fall? It's kind of weird. Yeah, isn't that crazy? I saw it's like a regular person. There's like the other feather. Why are there feathers going everywhere? Yeah, it's all developed and it's like home next to home. It's not like a ranch anymore. You're very, very, very right. Yep, Ron, that is a great episode. Take a look at, if you haven't, my sets episode, the 5 most complex sets, and I explain a lot about that train scene and how it was done, like the behind the scenes secrets and cool tips. So take a look at that. You'll like that video. Yeah, maybe a molting, guys. Maybe a molting, like that the episode where they go off to Florida. That could be. Look at this, molting. See? Yep. Right now, look at it. Oh, okay. So there is a Hollywood episode. I'm gonna call you Mandra with the Lucy show. Okay, well that makes sense maybe, because maybe the 50s was like too early. Like maybe they didn't want to, I don't know how to say it. They didn't really think there were going to be reruns. So I guess it's not like they wanted to date the episodes, but I think they wanted to have no reference to anything. The only real reference that I remember was Ike and Mamie Eisenhower. They say Ike and Mamie, and so it's obviously the president at that time. But other than that, there's not I mean, you can tell it's the 50s, but there's not like a lot of talk of like what's going on in the 50s, if that makes sense. They talked about Maryland a couple times, but you know, it's just really something to think about. I think that's what makes it last too. It's not like there are other shows that are super pure like 50s, like Happy Days. Like Happy Days, of course, it wasn't filmed in the 50s, it was filmed in the 70s, I believe. And so I mean, that clearly is trying to be a 50s show. Like, it's dated, but it also looks like it's 70s. And so, yeah. So, who was married to Desi after Lucy? Her name was Edie. Edie, wasn't it? I don't think it's Adams. Let me see. Just give me 1 second. Desi Arnaz. Yeah, Edith Mack Hirsch. That was her name. Good job, guys. You got it. Yeah, they knew Tennessee Ernie fairly well. He was the first official celebrity on the show. Yep. Oh, you like the bloopers? I may do more bloopers in the future. That could definitely be a possibility. Lucy's birthday. So you like Lucy's last birthday? That's the name of the episode from season 2. That's the one you like. I kind of like Mary Jane Croft, but see, one of the things you guys, I don't know if you notice, in season 6, like this is a scene with Ethel, Lucy, and Betty Ramsey. You see how heavily this episode is focused on the ladies. There's not a lot of Desi. Like, Desi is out most of the time. And let me tell you something, that was on purpose. Every time Desi was not in there for a long period of time, it was on purpose due to him being so busy, like running the studio. And so he would film his scenes and literally leave the actual stage, like as they're filming this, he would go across the hall or go to the next building, go in his office, do a little bit of work until he had to come back in again. Like, that's how hard he was working. And if you notice on I Love Lucy, the first couple, I guess seasons, but you see how heavy it's like Lucy and Ricky, Lucy and Ricky, Lucy and Ricky, every scene, and less. You even go into the Hollywood episodes and you start to see less of Ricky's like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the studio, and he's off to the studio, and Lucy and Fred and Ethel are like Roman's Chinese, and then Desi comes in later, and so forth. And so think about these things. That's on purpose. That is very much on purpose. My nose. Ignore my itchy nose. Oh, very cool. That was funny. About the Chatsworth Ranch. A show dedicated to Barbara Pepper. In all her appearances. That would be interesting. A show, you mean, or a video? Marlon Brando, yes. Marlon. Oh yeah, there's references here and there to like actors, but there's not like events. You know, like so many shows today, they'll talk about like, let's say the space shuttle exploding, so like put it in the 80s, or maybe they would talk about like Disneyland. You know, all these references. There is Knott's Berry Farm that was referenced by Mrs. McGillicuddy, and Knott's Berry Farm is super old. But yeah, it's really reference light, the show. All in all. Little Ricky, he's a children. Yes, that's a great one from when Mrs. Trumbull, when she's grumpy, no children allowed. That's a good one. Yes, Reynaldo, yes and no. Like, indicative of their relationship going kaput. That could be a thing. I'm not going to say it's not. But what I read mostly was that they were struggling. Desi was struggling between both worlds. And then they even for a little bit thought about replacing Desi. And they were like, yeah, we can't do that. And so they decided away from that. But if you notice, he appears less and less as the series goes on. Yep. Good afternoon. Definitely good afternoon. Yep. Yeah, so Bill Frawley was also watching a lot of baseball. He was a big baseball fan, and it was written in his contract that he, if his team, the Yankees, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not a baseball guy, so I think it's New York Yankees. If his team would make it, I think they would allow him to go or something, like not be on the show. So there was 2 episodes I think he did not appear completely, and other episodes that he was allowed to leave like earlier and so forth. So yeah, kind of cool. I think there's 7 total. So I think 5 that he was allowed to not be in as much. So they were Fred light. Oh yeah, video of Barbara Pepper. Yeah, she was in a lot of episodes. She was definitely a lot. There was a lot of people like that. Charles Lane, Bennett Green, Louis Nicoletti, Frank Nelson. I did one on Frank Nelson. I think he's cool. I think I said Charles Lane. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of them for sure. Mary Jane Croft. The seat is taken. Sure is, honey. She was getting that. Great question, Marcus. That was not the actual Grauman's Chinese Theater. Remember, at that time, season 5, they had a lot of money. And so they were able to recreate that very, very accurately to the point where we can't tell the difference, or you can't tell the difference. So yeah, that was pretty much shot on the area where the club was. There was not a lot of club after, 5 and 6, season 5 and 6. There was Club Babalu a little bit for a couple episodes, then not anymore. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, you can definitely see the passion was not there. Yeah, I will give you that, Reynaldo. That is for sure. There were a lot less lovey-dovey scenes. Like, I remember in the first 2 seasons, they were ending the show with them kissing, like, all the time. Like, that is nuts. So Ron, if you want to know a little bit about Viv and Desi not liking each other, I made a whole video on it. The Bill and Vivian, or Ethel and Fred feud. It's a whole video focusing. I'll give you all the information, so go check that out. Any questions that I have answered in previous videos, I'll just refer you to the video, because it's so much more thorough there than if I give you an answer here, like a yes or no. Like, people want to know, and so that's how you know. Did Desi want Bill to play Fred? You mean initially or in general? He very much liked Bill Frawley. Very much. They were very good friends, and they stayed friends. Even at his funeral, he was a pallbearer, so he helped carry Bill Frawley's casket, Desi did, and he also paid a huge page in the front page of the newspaper honoring Bill Frawley. And they were good friends. Good friends. I could very well do that. That's a great idea. Louis Nicoletti. The thing is, he's in so many episodes that it's going to be a struggle. I'm going to have to go through like every single... You know, sometimes it's hard for different reasons. And this one I think is hard because I'm pretty sure I'm going to miss him. He's in so many episodes. So many episodes. I can just keep going and look and just see him pop up anywhere. He was in a lot of them. Edie Maxwell, Inferiority Complex. So yeah, so that could very well be. I may do like, well, here are 10 episodes where he appears. You know, something like that, where I don't do every single one. I don't know much about that, Scott. I'm going to have to read up into that. Because remember, Betty Ramsey was kind of in there, so that it wasn't just like a duo anymore. It was like a trio. And then the show kind of abruptly ended. And she kind of disappeared for the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour. Yes. Yeah, sorry, my dog's barking. He's crazy. You guys can hear that? Yeah, this mic is good. My dog, he's fine. He's fine. I know him very well. He was great. He stopped. Oh, so Louis A. Nicoletti. Can I find a picture of him? Louis A. Nicoletti was a guy who appeared very, very often on I Love Lucy. He was always like a waiter, or he played like a dance instructor. Let me see if I can find a picture of him. And I see... Yeah, there we go. 90 or 91. And he was Desi's best friend, or one of his best friends in real life. And he purposefully put him on the show as much as he could, but he wasn't really much of an actor. It was all right. I'll show him. You've seen him. If you've seen I Love Lucy, you have seen the guy before. Next to Desi. That's Louis A. Nicoletti. And, yeah, played tons. It even says here, played countless minor roles on I Love Lucy. Later became assistant director and functioned in that capacity until his death in 1969. So, yeah. So he did other shows as well. So, very, very cool. Pepper and Ball were good friends. Yes. Barbara Pepper. She was slated to be the original Ethel. Don't think she would have been as good as Vivian. Oh yes, when Fred makes a 7-layer cake, that is one of the funniest moments in my opinion. That is so good. Marcus, I know who you're talking about. That is, yes, Nicoletti. No, incorrect, Bradness. I said Nicoletti was a stand-in. No. Desi's stand-in was Bennett Green. Lucy's stand-in was Hazel Pierce. She's that older woman who always appears in the end and never says anything. She says something in one episode. If you guys might know what that one was. You wonder how long the commute is. Me too. I actually don't know. Yeah, Barbara Pepper was the lady that Lucy... Not the big lady. Lucy sat on the bus. Or no, the lady sat on Lucy. Not that lady, but the one was sitting next to her with the big hat. She was kind of a large lady. I should find... The problem is she was a really, really bad alcoholic, apparently. And they were just scared having Bill Frawley as an alcoholic. And then Barbara Pepper. It was like 2 alcoholics. It's just too much. And so I can't find a picture right now. There should have been one. They show B. Benaderet, but they don't show Barbara Pepper. I could probably look it up. Let's see. I go P-P-E... P-P... Yeah, she's not in here. She's not, like... I'm sure picture's in there somewhere. Oh, they're doing the surprise! And it's still midnight. According to their grandfather clock that never moves. Why don't you start a link collection? You got it, Alec. You're awesome. I think you may have asked that one like a while back. I've never seen Green Acres. There we go. Midnight. Yeah, because it's dark, so I'm guessing it's midnight. But come on. They should wind that clock up. Lucy, I love her dress in this one. Like, I don't really pay attention to like what she's wearing. But in this one, she just looks so nice and glamorous, thinking that people are going to come and say hello and everything. So, yes. Ooh, I need to stretch. Ooh, excuse me. I just got a little bit of a sleep bug right there. Almost on for an hour, guys and gals. We're finishing up the episode. Still have a little bit more to go. Oh, this is great. At the end, Fred comes in, and he comes in with like his jammies. That is hilarious. Oh, man. Maybe Vivian was upset due to decreased lines on the Lucy Daisy comedy hour shows that revolved heavily around the guest stars. You know, it is what it is, guys and gals. Like, it's, I don't know, what can I say? You know, everyone's different. These are unique people. They're real human beings, and there's jealousy that happens, and people want to stick out more than others, and it's just what it is, you know. And so I'm gonna leave you guys to make your opinions and thoughts on that. But yeah, sometimes people fight for airtime, as they call it. Yes, Alec, I'm still doing the one-on-one interviews, and this is for you and everyone to know. Links in the description. One-on-one chat describes how to do it. I have a couple that I'm going to be scheduling very, very soon. A couple people have messaged me. So please do that as soon as possible, because here's the thing. I need to schedule them and book my schedule according to that. And unfortunately, I can't do them from work. Like, I can, but there's so many distractions at work. And so I need to be here. And so they have to be off work time. So please, like, I'm very flexible with the time, but if you want to do that, please, like, get in contact with me. Directions are all in that one-on-one chat link. Do that ASAP so that we can get those done whenever you'd like. So I'm very, very, very much enjoying them. Yes, Hazel Pierce. I mean, she was an extra in every single episode. I was like, wow, she should be on the show. Yeah, I believe it's Hazel Pierce that you're talking about. She was an older lady, right? Like in her 60s or something. Very thin. She kind of, well, the reason why she was Lucy Stand-in, because she was about the same height as her, same figure roughly. And so when they were setting up the lights, which it could take hours, they would literally pay her to stand there for Lucy to see how the lights hit, the shadows and everything. And that could take a long time. They don't want Lucy to stand there, so they pay people. Bennett Green was Ricky's, and then Lucy's was Hazel Pierce. Harper Marks and Lucy were awesome. Yes, they were. Yep, Blab Tag, he was not really mute. He was actually a very funny comedian, and he used to do a lot of his, you know, original Harpo stuff, but with speaking. And he played in front of a critic, and I believe he was doing some mime stuff, you know, usual Harpo stuff, and then he spoke at the end, and the critic was up to him. He's like, "You are the best mime I've ever seen. The worst part of the show was when you opened your mouth." And that made him decide, well, I should just shut up and do everything just silent. And he did, and that was Harpo. And so that was kind of cool. That was way back before, like, he started in movies, before in the 20s or even in the teens. So, yes. They were married at the actual Beagle Byram River Club. Like, that was the place. Lucy's Showbiz walks up. Oh, there we go. They come in. They're saying, surprise! Well, I'm with you right now, though. I like Harpo more than Groucho as well. Groucho's awesome. Don't get me wrong. But our Harpo, to me, was hilarious and awesome. I didn't know much about... I like Chico, as people say. One time, I was like... someone was super upset because I called them Chico. Which is funny because and they're like, it's Chico, which is correct. It is Chico. However, he plays in Italian, and in Spanish and Italian, it would be Chico. So I'll just laugh at that, which is funny. Oh, and there's Fred, really, really upset being there, half asleep in his pajamas. And everyone's like, what? Everyone's laughing at him because he's in his pajamas. Like, what is wrong with this man? I might do more stuff on the Marx Brothers as well. All right, guys, and as the episode ended, thank you very much. I gotta take care of my dog. I gotta take care of myself and eat and so forth. But we'll see you all next time. Thank you so much. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up as well. I do appreciate your love and support as always. You guys are amazing. I will always say that, but please know that each time I say it, I really mean it. So I appreciate you always joining me and being awesome. Have a good week. If you have a bad day, don't worry about it. The next day should be better. All right, we'll see you next time, and don't forget, be hopeful.